Episode 9 is often described as a movie by writer and director J.J. Abrams that will hold many different pieces of Jedi and Sith lore in this film in order to move some of the characters like Rey and Kylo Ren forward in this story from start to finish of the movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that I am really looking forward to seeing in this film is exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to use the Jedi and the Sith lore in Episode 9. Now, we do know that this movie is really going to cater to Legends material, as well as the prequels and the originals in order to really tie it all together, as well as borrowing elements from the EU. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey, the Lost City, and a statue of the Light Sith. Specifically, a description of Rey inside of the Lost City in the Jedi location, where it's described to be a location of a dozen statues that serve as a message and an example of many years ago. The next goes over Rey with R2-D2 shining a flashlight on statues that is dubbed as the Light Sith. It's described that the Jedi section in the Lost City showcased the statue of a Sith Lord that was considered to be a false Sith. The Sith Lord's name is referred to as Lord Plygra. It's described that the Jedi coined the term Light Sith, a Sith who received regular teachings of the Sith, however were devoted to the light over the dark, while also maintaining their dedication to the Sith organization. It's described that the statue Rey witnesses wears bulky armor and a metallic mask that resembles a Roman helmet. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this because this is where things really begin to make me very excited. I gotta say, you know, the Jedi and Sith lore by JJ is something that's really going to make Episode 9 feel like it's connected to the EU and Legends material. Now, when we look at Episode 9 as a whole, first things first, the Lost City, we're still not quite sure what planet this takes place on, other than the fact that it does take place underneath the surface of a specific planet, either in the Outer Rim and or the Unknown Regions. So with that being said, Rey going to the Lost City, specifically in the Jedi location, there lies a dozen statues, one of which is dubbed as the Light Sith, which is also known as a false Sith, which is honestly very intriguing indeed. So this Light Sith is actually known and or dubbed as Lord Plygra, Plygra. Now, it's described that the Light Sith in appearance is described to have bulky armor and a helmet that resembles a Roman helmet. So when we look at Episode 9, they always borrow elements from Roman times, from, medieval times as well, and of course everything related to World War II, World War I. They really do rely on history in order to really draw from that and use that as inspirational pieces to incorporate that into a Star Wars story. So with Episode 9, there's a lot of World War II stuff being involved in here. There's a lot of stuff being borrowed from the Romans and from medieval times in general, and I think that's a great thing by JJ. So the other thing that I do want to go over is how the Light Sith is being used as an example in the Jedi location. This was actually done by the Jedi themselves in the Jedi runes within the Lost City to show this as an example of what a Light Sith really is. So a Light Sith / false Sith, I'm not quite sure if this is even a thing in the EU, that I'm unaware of. But the Light Sith / false Sith is a type of actual Sith that actually does not hold the true connection to the dark side of the Force, but prefers the light side, but still is dedicated to the Sith organization. So it's a very interesting take. You know what? To me, it sounds more around the lines of, I guess you could say, an inversion of the Jedi, or a Grey Jedi, or something like that. I think it's definitely an inversion of the Grey Jedi. Even though that's not canon, that was a fan-made thing, the Grey Jedi. When we look at Dark Jedi, that's a Jedi that basically has turned to the dark side of the Force, essentially. So when we look at this, a Light Sith, it's basically a Sith that is dedicated to the Sith organization but prefers the light over the dark into lore. And he never really got a chance to do it more, in the sequel trilogy because, well, he didn't really stick around throughout the trilogy. And that's why I believe that J.J. Abrams would have been the better choice to actually keep, on schedule for all three movies. Instead of having, one director and then Rian Johnson, and then the same exact director at the very end of this trilogy, makes things feel a little bit inconsistent. So we do know that JJ loves and respects, the lore of the Jedi and the Sith, as well as the Star Wars in general, and wants to insert that into Episode 9. So what do you guys think about Rey's adventure into the Lost City? So far we have been learning about the Forbidden Jedi, the First Jedi, the First Sith, and now the Light Sith, and a couple of more out there. These different statues, I believe we're going to learn more about them in the visual dictionary, absolutely. Once Episode 9 arrives, I'm definitely going to pick up the visual dictionary to learn more about these statues and exactly, new facts about them once the movie drops. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.